Hello all you amazing people, and remember you're always amazing because you clicked on a small YouTuber's video. Currently we're at 918 subscribers, thank you guys so much. And in today's video I just wanted to go over Cyno. He hasn't really been too good. Like he's pretty bad, and I just want to say I kind of regret summoning on him. It's just my final thoughts on him before his banner goes away. This will come out a little bit before his banner goes away. I do really regret it, because he really does not have a place in the game at all right now. I thought, hey, he'll be able to be used for like, a certain amount of time, but I didn't realize how low that time was. I was thinking, hey, he'll be able to use for most of his burst duration, right? No, he's not able to be used for most of his burst duration. In fact, the best buffer Kazuha right now in the game is Kazuha, and he has an 8-second burst duration, meaning you're not getting buffed for 10 seconds of that. You're missing 10 seconds of buff. Like, that is a huge thing for Kazuha. I can only help but think that possibly the reason why, because realistically, they are going to design Sumeru characters that are almost exactly like him. They are going to design long duration Sumeru characters. That is how the Sumeru characters are probably going to go. I really do think that that's how they're going to handle it. So Cyno being like this doesn't really surprise, or it doesn't. The next characters won't surprise me. Cyno surprises me because why did they do that? Like it's an idiotic decision. There is no winning at that point. It is literally just a bad decision that they made. They should have just kept all the burst durations short. And I can only think that the reason why they're not doing that is because Kazuha. I think they see how much Kazuha is used because of how OP he is. And they're like, alright, let's make these characters that don't really function well with Kazuha because they have an 8-second burst duration. I don't know why they're doing this at all. No content in the game. The bosses with iframes are gonna be so annoying now, because if they do iframes, maybe they'll be less annoying. Because there is a chance that, hey, they have iframes, alright, we're able to just basically completely nullify that because, well, you're gonna have such a long burst duration. But I feel like Magu Kinki, that'll be a boss fight that just, is actually good for that. So Magu Kinki will be one of the only fights that are actually good for that, because he has invincibility for like, those first 2 seconds, which can really definitely, impact the amount of, damage you're able to do, depending on like, hey, I'm using Raiden, but then like we do that first little bit of damage, he becomes invincible and you can't do anything after that. I think that's a pretty big factor in like maybe these long burst durations can be good. It's not a huge burst of damage in 1 second anymore, or 10 seconds. It is a small amount of damage over time. At least for Cyno's case, he's not really the best when it comes to, damage over time. He's doing like, for me, like 5k and like 10k. It's really sad to see, but like that is what he's doing, and it's not too good. Really, really bad. I wish that they went with the model that they had, because as it stands now, maybe you're gonna need less energy for these characters. No, because Cyno has bad energy. I'm trying to make excuses, but these long burst duration characters can be nothing but bad, because in Spiral Abyss, you're trying to go as fast as possible. I say most people don't want to play Spiral Abyss, but when you design every other character for Spiral Abyss, which, I mean, they are designed for Spiral Abyss, and they are designed in a certain way, and then you flip that certain design, it's going to be pretty hard to adjust. Most characters in the game now cannot be used with Cyno. Shangling cannot be used with Cyno. Bennett cannot be used with Cyno, because he has a longer burst duration than any other character in the game. It's unrealistic to assume that someone can actually use that. Nobody can buff Cyno with his entire duration. It is insanely dumb. That's the first thing, his burst duration. Now his damage. His damage is subpar too. That is just a factor of them not wanting to release these characters that are actually really, really good. Like I said, Kazuha, Bennett, they can't buff him his entire time. So you're stuck with this character that's doing like 5,000 a hit. And it's just not a lot of damage compared to these characters that are buffed by Kazuha, Bennett. I mean, look at this team. Cyno can't do this. I'll prove it, Cyno can't do this. I'll take one of my Cyno teams into this. He cannot do that. He can't. Because he's not built for it. His damage is so subpar, because I think it's just the way that they're nerfing these characters nowadays, because they're too scared to make these characters good, right? You can see it with Tignari. you could see it with Yelan, because Yelan should have been absolutely trumping Xingqiu, but then in some cases she's better or she's worse, and in some cases she's better. It shouldn't be like that. Xingqiu's a 4-star. You can get him on every single banner. Yelan's a limited 5-star that someone can go for 180 pulls with not pulling. Or with, at most, I mean. Let me just build up a quick Cyno team. We're gonna do my Bloom Cyno because, well, I don't really have... someone said that the Blooms would interfere and, like, knock characters back, but to be honest, does it... Oh, wow. Okay, we don't have enough energy, alright. I'll go harvest energy while we talk. Alright. So, basically, my biggest thing here is, like, Cyno, he's not built for the meta. He's not built for any character to be used with him. I can only think that Cyno has something up his sleeve that, you know, maybe there's a character that's coming up that's gonna massively buff him. But then we have to compare him with Keqing. Keqing does way more damage, or not way more, but Keqing basically is Cyno on discount. That is how it feels. It's not like she's worse, like, in any way. Like, it's basically better than him, but, like, discounted. It's like, it literally does not make sense. You know, the discounted version should be worse, but she's not. She's either tied or she's better. It's dumb. So Cyno comes out and he's like that. There's in no way do I see Keqing being, because Keqing, all it is her E skill. You don't rely on a burst to be up. If you relied on Cyno's E skill, because Keqing, it's literally her E skill cooldown is so low. You can rely on Keqing to do anything that Cyno does. Even if we get like 20-second burst durations, Keqing's gonna be sat there, you know, oh yeah, I'll just use my E skill, because she virtually has no downtime. So basically, Keqing has, you know, a downtime of 2 seconds with this, right? 7.5, and you can run her on Thundering Fury to make that basically nothing. You literally can just run her on Thundering Fury to make it nothing. But let's do this team. I am probably, I mean, it's not gonna look good, but I mean, just to show my point here. I messed up. Just look at this. He's a single target DPS. Almost. But I mean, you can see he's doing decent damage. You know, Bloom did like 13,000 there. You know, you can see it, but you can't see it at the same time. I was using him on an incorrect weapon, I just realized. But it's still just the same thing. We would have seen the same results. Maybe we would have actually cleared it in that time. I don't know. But it's not good enough. Considering I'm able to go in there with Ito and basically destroy it. Like, I was using Ito team. The only problem is I destroyed it so fast I wasn't able to use my second E skill. So let's look at that. Ito, I wasn't able to use my second E skill. I was always like a couple seconds off. Ito kills them in less than 10 seconds. We used Cyno's entire burst duration. If we can have 100% uptime on Ito, with my C2 Ito, we have 100% uptime. And he's doing 40, 50k slashes every single hit, and then 120k on a board. And Cyno comes out here and he's doing like 5k. Granted, you know, I'm not using, like, I don't think I should be using Bloom. I think maybe a pure aggravate team would definitely work better. So Cyno's damage is low. And I don't think that he's good. It's sad to see, but Cyno's damage is low. And his burst duration works with literally no characters. And that's the entire reason why I regret summoning on Cyno. I don't think that anybody should have summoned on Cyno. He really is a bad character unless you really like him. That is the only way I see people summoning on him, because, you know, he's your favorite character or something. You know, I don't blame you for liking Cyno. I mean, I like him too, but they made him bad. It's not really like, they made him bad, and it's just sad to see, because, you know, he could have been great. He could have been one of these transformation characters that come out and deal absolute massive damage. But basically, he's worse Raiden, worse Keqing. It's just dumb to see. If we just compare this to, like, you know, characters that we've gotten before, in my roster, is he my worst DPS? Like, is he actually just my worst DPS? Yeah. If we don't count the standard banners, if we count my limited 5 stars, he's my worst DPS. Wow. Okay. I didn't even expect that, but it's like a tie between him and Zhao, and the reason why I don't want to use Zhao is because just his damage per second just really is not that good, because you end up, you know, doing like 40k per plunge, and I mean, comparing that to Ito, you know, you're ending up doing 40k per slash, but it's like a third of the time Zhao takes to plunge. So yeah, and then the plunges are inconsistent because I'm not like a Zhao main who gets like perfect plunges every single time. So just really not too good. And I mean, Eula, I mean, if I had her correct weapon, wow, she's gonna be doing like a million damage on a burst, and Eula only takes 7 seconds to do that burst duration or burst damage. It's just, what is Ayaka's? Oh, Ayaka does basically twice the damage as Cyno in 5 seconds, and he takes 18 seconds to do it. Yeah, that's my... I think that summarizes it perfectly. Ayaka is over there off field, too. Off field. Don't forget that he has to be on field for his damage. Throw the burst out for 5 seconds and deal a massive amount of damage. Whereas this guy, he's stay on field for 18 seconds and do half of that massive amount of damage. Yeah, really, what did they do with Cyno? You can tell which characters they've messed up on. You know, they've messed up on Ayaka, and I feel like they've messed up on Kazuha. You could tell. And I think the entire reason why they're doing this is to nerf Kazuha. Because Kazuha only being able to buff someone for 8 seconds isn't going to be really good. We're going to see a new wave of long duration people come into the game, and you're going to be forced to summon on these sumo characters. This might be a sales tactic. It might be just to nerf Kazuha and his viability. We'll see. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.